hey there. It is that time of year when Christmas movies are coming out every single day. Today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Christmas on Repeat. If you are brand new to my YouTube channel, yay! I'm so glad you're here. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both watching a specific film. And if you are a returning subscriber, yay, I really appreciate your support. So this goofy holiday movie is now available on Hulu. It is rated PG and is an hour and 29 minutes. My movie review mom grade is a C+. So now don't click away to another channel. Let me explain why so that you know what to expect. If you have already decided based on the trailer that you want to watch this, I'll give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and even recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that I think you might also like if you like this one. All right, so first, in a nutshell, do you ever wish that you could get a do-over on a day? Yeah, me too, like a million times. I love movies that include a time loop. Do you? I have some recommendations for some movies that repeat down below. So keep watching for that. This movie is about an ad executive who gets more than she bargained for when Santa grants her a wish for a Christmas Day do-over. And she realizes she's been missing precious time with her family. That's the plot. You could basically see that whole movie in your head, right? So there were some things that I really liked about the movie. First of all, Jennifer Taylor does a good job as a mom who's struggling to find balance in her life. I think a lot of moms are going to be able to relate to her character. Did you know that Jennifer Taylor won first runner-up in the Miss Florida pageant 2 years in a row? She was just about ready to move back to Florida and give up on acting when she finally got offered a role in the TV show 2.5 Men back in 2003. And ever since then, she's been doing TV and other movies. So don't expect an award-winning movie with this film. It is kind of a low-budget, fun flick for the holidays. The film takes a look at our motivations and struggles and rinses and repeats that until we finally understand how to apply the lessons learned into our own life. So there were some things that I didn't like about the movie. First of all, some of the acting moments are pretty terrible. It was also super frustrating to watch the protagonist, this mom, waste so many opportunities that she had been given to redo her Christmas Day. You would think, she would just be all gung-ho, gangbusters. I was saying gang-ho. Anyway, but she kind of wastes the first several attempts. Anyway, eventually she gets it. Oh, big spoiler there. I know you saw that coming. It's also kind of frustrating to see that the main character took a job to help her family financially, yet she's being made out to be the bad guy. Of course, she needed to set boundaries at work, but still, it's a role reversal of the classic story about the dad or any dad who puts his career ahead of his family. In this case, the roles are reversed. The dad in this story looked to be a stay-at-home dad who's complaining that his wife isn't paying attention to him and that kind of stuff. Even though their kids were not very young, they didn't really need a stay-at-home kid, like they didn't have young children. It's extremely predictable, and some of the plot points are just ridiculous. Not all of the humor lands, and I didn't really feel any chemistry between the married couple. Now, their marriage is on the rocks, that I did feel. None of the characters seemed very realistic, and ultimately, they all felt very one-dimensional. Let me give you some tips for parents. There is no profanity in this movie. Yay! Alcohol is consumed, but overall, it's a family-friendly flick. Some of the themes that are illustrated well are priorities, family, adoption, second chances, setting boundaries, work-life balance, of course, and even second families. So I always write down funny lines and interesting lines, and I have them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So run over there and check all that stuff out. But I didn't write down any funny lines. Like I said, there's Nothing super funny. Not all of the humor lands. Most of it doesn't. I might have chuckled inside, but nothing that really made me laugh out loud. But there were some interesting lines. So, for example, Andrea, who's played by Jennifer Taylor, she says, "You didn't just marry your wife, you married her entire family. And you just have to set boundaries." So she's saying that to another friend of hers, but it's absolutely good advice for her as well. All right. So as I mentioned, I love time loop movies, and there are so many great ones, but by far my all-time favorite one is Groundhog Day. I highly recommend it if you've never seen it. It's the classic time loop movie. Another one that is great, but is not a comedy like Groundhog Day, is called Edge of Tomorrow. When it first came out, they actually called the movie Live, Die, Repeat, and then ended up changing the movie. But so you can see that movie listed under both titles. It's a Tom Cruise movie with Emily Blunt. It's a really great, it's action. So it's not a comedy, totally different type of movie. And then along those lines, another time loop movie that is not a comedy, not action, is a comedy horror called Happy Death Day. And it's just comical in the way that this leading lady, is repeating these days, day after day after day. But there's this like little murder mystery kind of a thing embedded it as kind of a horror. So there's some variety. I hope that you'll enjoy all of those. Let me know what you think of them after you watch them. Thank you so much for all of your support. Be sure and click down below to read more about my books, my online courses, my daily podcasts, and visit me over on Instagram as Movie Review Mom, but also as Trina Boice. Thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.